on time. So, okay, thank you. Next presentation, we have Mack Palomäki, and he's talking about AI-driven documentation workflows for Plone and Volto.
Okay, so I'm not going to introduce myself very much, except that I'm a real newbie, and I've totally relied on AI for everything I've done, including this presentation. So you'll have to take it for what it is. So I'm not going to go into a long issue about the problems that we have with documentation. I mean, I've worked with coders for a long time, and I have yet to meet one that loves documentation. So there's traditional approach and there's the AI-assisted approach. Now, when I started to work with AI, I decided that I'd work with AI in the same way that I used to work with my programming teams in the past, and that is to create very strict rules. And if you give AI good rules, it changes a lot of kind of results that you have. So I have a fairly long file which I enclose every time when I start a session, which is my collaboration rules with AI. So one of the most important things I tell AI is that time is finite, loops are wasteful, facts matter, and everything else is noise. I have a rule number one is documentation first. Before every answer, let me check the official documentation. This is actually in my document. It's in the prompt that's attached to every query. And I'm not going to go into detail in all this. I think you can read it very quickly there. No false certainty. Now, AI is very quick to be very certain about everything. I tell AI, do not be certain about anything. Okay, never say this will work until it's been proven. Because usually when you do an AI kind of prompt, it'll tell you that why this works. And I always tell AI, no, not allowed. Success is functional. Very often you will see AI saying success, we've had wonderful results or something like that, and then it turns out it doesn't work. And the other thing that happens is when you give it a little bit vague prompt in the beginning, it'll start generating loads and loads of code, and it'll go into a big sort of, I call it coding diarrhea. And it's a little bit like ending up in parts of the world where you have cholera or something, and what you're getting is not really what you want. So success is functional, and I'm very clear to tell AI that do not do anything really unless, or don't claim any success until we've really confirmed and validated that it works. Now, what the AI also very often does, it goes into looping, and it'll start repeating. If you end up in something which is a little bit difficult, it'll just try again and again and again and again. And you have to break that. And you have to also tell AI that this is a loop and stop it. No, and then you tell it, if you don't stop, I'm going to go to another AI or something. And that usually works. The loops, they really waste hours. So, what makes a good documentation prompt? Basically, you need a little bit of context. Like I mentioned about languages and so on, and about people and about everything, is that nearly everything depends on the situation that you're in. So you have to really give AI a little bit of context so that it understands where it is. And then you have to set some constraints. One of the big constraints, like I said, is collaboration rules. This one is probably the biggest time saver that I've ever had, to have a nice big fat file with rules. But we'll talk just a little bit more about constraints later, what kind of output format you want. some AIs, they will do inline answers that disappear very quickly if you're not careful. So it's good to specify that you want an artifact that is downloadable, or that you want something which is inline, which will not just disappear and so on. So that's very important. And then the question is how you're going to check accuracy. So a really bad prompt is document this code. There's no context, no format, no constraints, no verification method. A good prompt is something like this. So you can do also a prompt that talk about what kind of types of document you want. If you want an API reference or architect review or inline comments or migration guide, or if you want just a summary or something. This is very, very useful just to provide inside your prompts. Now, I was going to do a real demonstration, but I think we're going to run out of time. So what I'm going to do is that I put the demonstration and the prompts and everything, I'll load it up on GitHub, and you can just download it and have a look at it. I'll have the collaboration rules and everything that I've been using from all this, and I'll do that immediately after this conference, and I'll just give you a reference to where you can download it. So the task is to create an architecture overview document, and I chose a core Plone file very arbitrarily. It is from Babel folder. It's 1,000 plus lines, and the goal was to get a comprehensive architecture documentation. Okay. So the question is then, what will AI do with confidence? Now, the amazing thing about all this is that everything that you see here was generated by AI last night. This took about 10 minutes, this whole presentation, to put together with AI. So I really came here, I would say, totally unprepared. So I took the little snippet that was in my presentation brief on the website. I pasted that into AI, and I told them that I was going to do this presentation. I gave it my collaboration rules, and then I explained to it, make a presentation, about 30 minutes, create all the slides, do everything. So everything here that you see now is generated by AI. And it also talked about, I also asked to mention a little bit about what it can do, what it can't do, and so on. And this is what it came up with. So this is what AI can do with confidence. And this is what AI is uncertain about. So you have to sort of tell AI to state what it is certain and uncertain about. And that will give you a very good idea about how useful AI is going to be. Now, the generated document was about 500 lines. Like I said, I'll put the document onto GitHub there, and you can have a look at it. And it did a module overview, core components, data flow diagrams, key algorithms, public API, design patterns, and known limitations. So you can also ask AI to do a little bit of self-critique. So this is what AI thought it did well. And it's pretty accurate now. If you look at how AI has evolved, I've spent maybe 3,000, maybe 4,000 hours on AI now since AI was first launched. So I can claim I have a little bit of experience, but what the AI is doing today and what it did just 3 months ago is not the same. And if you would ask these kind of self-critique questions earlier, you would not have got a reasonable response. So then, if you look at self-critique here, these are the kind of things that it's looking at. So any kind of performance numbers and so on, it made them up. It's hallucinations. The thread safety section was inferred. It's basically based on AI's experience, which it really doesn't have. It's just been taking a lot of different patterns and so on. The integration points were guessed from structures. File locations were assumed, they weren't verified. And the historical contents were also inferred from just comments. So you still need a little bit of human review, but the human review becomes quite minimal, especially when you combine that by when you have review questions, you ask AI to help you with it. And you talk with UI more or less like you would do with a human being when you ask the questions and so on. You just make sure that you have very, very strict rules. Now, what's missing is something that needs more context, and that's the actual usage patterns from real applications, migration guides, common pitfalls, team knowledge, and tribal wisdom. And this is why you have Plone conferences. And then you have production deployment considerations. So now AI did something very, very interesting. And that was a time-saving analysis. It's, of course, hallucination. It's guessing. So it put a lot of numbers there. And I think that this is something that is also very interesting. It saved a lot of time. Talked about 1.7 hours or something like that. I put it more like 10 minutes that I spent on all this. I really haven't spent any time at all to put this together. So I know it doesn't really increase the value of what I'm saying, but I think it's quite amazing. Actually, when I started to work with AI, I don't think I really slept for the first 2-3 months, because finally I had a genie that would grant me all my wishes. So it's been really quite fantastic. So if we look at a kind of a practical workflow, is that when developers write code, they should be encouraged sort of to create prompts. And AI will actually generate the initial documentation. And if you want to approach any kind of coding task, you can actually sit with your team and you can ask AI to write the brief or an overview of how you should even approach the problem. It's actually very, very good at doing all these kind of things, and to also you can give it a little bit of input about the team members, and it can allocate tasks. It can do all kinds of wonderful things when you get the whole project started. And I won't go into too many details about this either. I mean, you can just read what it says, but the important thing is to review code and docs together, and this is something which is quite interesting. Now, if we look at the tools and templates, I've done a little bit of materials like this, so I haven't really done it exactly like this. I can ask AI to generate something which is one-to-one like this, and I can upload it after the talk as well. I mean, but this is something that you could also do yourself. I mean, you could just try to see what happens if you want these kind of templates. and they are actually very, very efficient. Now, the one thing which has caused greatest problems for me when working with AI has been hallucinations. Because I tell you, this AI is it's scary. It will very convincingly saying, yes, I absolutely know, and it doesn't. And I think in German you have something which is dangerous half knowledge. And you have something also which you call to know but not know. And this is absolutely worse. And AI is actually very good at that. And like I said, if you have very good rules and so on, you can get quite good results to reduce hallucinations. And one thing is to ask it to state the uncertainty explicitly. And this actually means you have to tell them, you have to ask it, are you certain about this? And if you're not certain, tell me what you're not certain about. And it's very good to be very verbose about asking how it knows and why it knows and how do you prove this, and to really be challenging. So if you look at the integration of the existing tools, now I'm always asking AI to create artifacts which are in the .mb format, which are downloadable, or which are inline and which will be available and which will not just disappear. So that's really very, very good. You can ask it to help with all these kind of tasks that are mentioned here. It's really very good. So if you look at the key takeaways here is that we can see that AI can really generate structures very quickly. You'll create outlines and you can just ask it to help to plan the work or to give an overview first. I usually always tell it not to start to generate any code or do anything, do everything one step at a time. And this is part of the collaboration rules, which I have been working with very much. Now, good prompts typically always lead to good documentation. And again, here it's made up a time saving 5 hours to 1.7 hours. I mean, it's just forget that. It's these kind of numbers, but it's just trying to prove that it's efficient. So I have a little bit of a closing remark in that there are many different AIs out there. I'm using basically every single one of them that is commercially available now. We have Gemini, we have Claude, we have Grok, we have DeepSeek, we have Perplexity, and they all have very different personalities. Now, Grok is maybe a little bit like Elon Musk himself. It's a little bit terse and it's got a little bit of a personality. Gemini also has a personality which is, I think they've tried to make it seem very neutral, very sort of dispassionate would be probably a good word to say about the Google one. Claude AI has turned out to be one of my favorites because it's very much like a person and it gives a lot of encouragement. And I've discovered that it's not just efficient, but I actually enjoy doing it. I really have fun working with AI, and I think that you have a lot of people who are in the gaming community, who sit in playing games 24 hours a day, basically, and they can't stop. Well, this AI can be just as addictive if you find a good way to collaborate with AI. So I think that if your developers get the hang of all this, maybe they will find that documentation is a little bit like playing a game. And it's amazing how much you can achieve with all this. So since I started with AI, I should basically say that I'm trying to do a very big project in Plone, and I'm doing it basically by myself and the help of the community. And typically, I would have probably had 30, 40 people helping me. Now I've only got AI helping me. Like I said, I've spent many thousand hours, which I probably shouldn't admit to, but I have working with AI. And I've probably generated about 10,000 pages of documentation for my own project already. So it really is impressive. And the thing is, when I have so much documentation, how do I manage it? Well, I put it into big bundles, I import it into AI, I tell AI to summarize for me and to check out what's good and check out what's become obsolete and so on. So it's really quite amazing. So that's about it. I'll just very, very quickly see if I can find my prompt here. Let's see. Here my collaboration. Oh, yeah. Okay, it's not in the slide there, so I'm not sure how to make it visible. But you can download the collaboration rules. Those are probably the best takeaway from the talk that I've got here. Thank you very much.
We have time for a question. Okay.
Thank you for the talk. I just have one question about the beginning of the presentation. You said something about detecting loops. Is this integrated in the prompt? You say to the AI?
In my collaboration rules, I talk about loops, yes. I have this that if you are repeating something, stop. Now, sometimes it won't follow the rules. And, it's a little bit fun because you can tell it, okay, if you're not going to play by the rules, I'm going to go to another AI or something. And it's quite surprising how it will actually respond to this. It responds better to this kind of threat than it does to just being stop looping or something like that. It's when you add a little threat to it, it's almost like working with a human being now.
So it's really something that should be in the prompt, do not loop and something.
Like I said, it's a pity we have so little time, but what I always do is that I upload my collaboration rules at the beginning before I write any prompt. So this is something which is uploaded as a part of my prompt.
Okay.
So when I start a session and then when I come to a next session or a handover session, I always include these collaboration rules every time. I found that this has saved me just endless amounts of time.
So the first thing you do always are the collaboration rules.
Yes.
No contract with any AI. And then depending on what you want to achieve, depending on what type of documentation you want to generate, you have specific prompt that you put.
The thing is that I'm doing a whole project now, which 30, 40 people would do. So I have to give it enough context so that it understands what I want it to look at and what kind of output I want. It's like if you talk to a person and you say, hi, do this. The person is going to say, what? You have to give enough context so that there is an understanding of what you want. And this is the most difficult thing, if you ask someone, well, what do you want? Most people don't even know what they want in their life.
Yeah.
So,
you need to know the person.
Yeah. So you really have to know what you want yourself out of it and what kind of expectation you have. And learning to express this is also very good in many ways for your own life. So it's this is really fantastic to work with.
Okay. Thank you. We gotta go to the keynote. Thank you, Mack.